The presses are being stopped at one of the oldest newspapers in New York. After more than a century, the Cortland Standard today published its last ever edition. Residents reflected on the paper's history, while county officials are turning the page and subscribing to a new paper to tell Cortland stories. It's one of the first buildings you see when you drive through Cortland.
For 157 years, the Standard served as the voice of our community, documenting the stories, milestones, and challenges of our county.
The Cortland Standard. The massive structure serves as a symbol of what used to be. The paper announced Thursday that it will be filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy protection.
Sad. Certainly the paper's been a standard for so many years for us, and it provides a lot of great reporting.
The paper listed several reasons for this decision. The main one, though, financial strain. The Standard leaves behind a more than a century-long legacy. It is the second oldest family-owned newspaper in New York.
For my generation, anyways, it was the way we all connected, and that was what sat at the diner and you read every morning to find out what was going on. So it's sad that it's moving on.
The county is moving on as well. At a special legislative session Thursday, officials met to designate the area's new source of written information. Syracuse-based newspaper, the Post-Standard, will become the official paper in Cortland County.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The motion carries.
While the vote was unanimous, it brought with it a melancholy feeling.
I remember when the newspaper, when I was in the service, that, my parents would send that to me for that connection. So it is saddened that we have to get rid of 157 years of history, which was that connection.
Designating an official newspaper is required under county law for the purposes of publication of notices and laws. The First National Bank in Binghamton is up